Hey guys, I'm back. I know it's been a while, but here I am. College got a little crazy, but I am ready to start putting videos out again. And so, for today's project, you will need the color book, A Workshop for Artists and Designers, the 3rd edition by David Hornung, a flat brush, a small brush, blue tape, a bone paper folder, a marker paper, drawing paper, an X-Acto knife, and a glue stick. Now all these things will be in the description for you to buy on Amazon. We will also need permanent white paint, burnt sienna, Payne's gray, permanent yellow deep, flame red, and turquoise blue to create the colors that I used in this particular assignment, Assignment 7 from the book. Now, these are a gouache paint, so I've never used gouache paint before, but it is important to remember to put water in mixed with the paint because it is a concentrated paint, so you want to water it down, and you want to mix 4 colors of different hues that has a broad range of values, and saturated colors, which means that you want very colorful colors versus very dull colors, and very light colors versus dark colors, because this will be the most helpful. Now you want 4 backgrounds with taped edges to create a nice clean composition, and you also want your marker paper at the ready because that is what you are going to make your swatches out of. And so you're going to use up all of your paint. You don't want any of it to go to waste. So you paint 1 background each color, and then you use the rest of the paint up on the marker paper. And once all of the backgrounds and the paper are used, you're going to use the rest of the marker paper. Once it's dry, you are going to cut out different shapes to whatever you want to create an interesting composition. But the important part is that you want 1 of each kind of shape in 1 of each kind of color, because you want each composition to have a different shape and color to get the most out of this lesson or experiment, because in this experiment we are learning how to create depth with color and what colors will kind of tend to shy into the background versus what colors tend to jump more forward at you. And it's a really fun experiment. You can do it with any colors, any shapes. It's just important to have a wide variety so that you're able to distinguish what happens to go back and what happens to come forward. For this experiment, I tended to find that the darker, less saturated colors tended to retreat into the background, whereas anything that was very, very colorful or very light tended to come forward. And so it was very interesting to find the different ways that that worked out, and I would definitely say that a good tip for this would be to use overlapping shapes, because it's easier to tell what is going forward and coming closer at you versus what is kind of retreating back. And if you want a nice clean project, a glue stick sounds very elementary, but it is definitely what I used and would recommend. But I would definitely apply the glue on some of your extra marker paper so that you don't risk getting it on any of the paint, because it does show up very shiny. You can see it somewhat on some of mine because I got a little messy with it. And you can see here that I'm using, it's called a bone paper folder. I believe it's also in the description, so you can buy it off of Amazon. But it's really nice for embossing, which just means putting another paper over your painted paper and just rubbing it very vigorously to help it really adhere to the paper underneath it. And when you're done, it all looks like you painted it on one single paper, so it gives it a very, very professional finish, and it's never come apart on me. I know that a lot of things that tend to be stuck on with a glue stick tend to fall off, but these projects stayed together really nicely for my class, because I wanted, obviously, since this was supposed to be turned into a college class, you wanted it to look as professional as possible. And so I really encourage you to try this if you want a better grasp on color and how to use it. And I really hope that you get something interesting out of it. I would definitely recommend doing multiple compositions like I did. The book recommends 4, so that's what I did, but you can do more with more colors or less with less colors, but I would definitely recommend at least 4 so that you can get the different contrasts and learn what comes forward and what comes back. And it doesn't, teach you everything about color, but it helps you begin to get a grasp on it so that later on you can learn how to apply it better in art. And so I hope you learned something. I know I did in this class, so I wanted to just share that knowledge with you. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next week. It's good to be back. Bye!